Okay, so picking up from last time, we'd just been reunited with Li Mei thanks to the assistance of Madame Feng and her, quite resourceful henchmen. They're obviously quite tight-lipped. They don't reveal much. In fact, they don't really stick around. Just saying that you're to remain here until sunrise, at which point somebody else will be here to collect you. Obviously, smuggling you out of the city now is going to be quite a tall order. What with security being on quite high alert. But they've proven themselves to be fairly competent so far, so there's some hope that you may yet get to leave the city with your heads on your shoulders. But the tavern they've left you in is, to be blunt, quite a tip. It's really, really quite run down. Probably the perfect place to lay low for a while, but it's unlikely to be a comfortable evening. Li Mei, how is it feeling to be, no longer incarcerated?
Good. I was a bit scared for my character, but yeah, she's all scared, but okay. I think she misses her hair quite a bit, but she'll get over it at the end of the day.
It's probably better than the alternative.
Definitely.
And hey, somebody might know lesser restoration, you don't know.
Oh,
But run down as it is still a tavern, and as such, food and booze is available in sizable quantities, and there will be some rooms for you guys to get some rest and await for your extraction tomorrow morning. Because where we left off, I think we were kind of getting to the early evening. So obviously, probably not going to be the greatest shopping opportunity this evening. There's probably going to be a bit too much going on in the city for that to be particularly viable, but it is, of course, up to you.
Or a feeding opportunity?
Please.
Well, you have your outfit now.
Last time I
There
went
could
out
be
to feed it,
potentially,
didn't go so well.
yeah, could be potentially some opportunity amongst the chaos, though.
Oh, yeah.
But yes, with day drawing in, the hunger is starting to set in. An easy fix for the rest of you, not so much as one.
What's the exhaustion rules again?
The new ones, let me dig those out. Let's see. Level 1 exhaustion is disadvantage on ability checks. Oh, wait, hold on, no, that's
That's the old one.
Never mind.
Old one. Yeah.
Nope, that's a very cancerous website. Let me find another one.
When you take a D20 test, your roll is reduced by double your exhaustion level, and your speed is reduced by a number of feet equal to 5 times your exhaustion level. So if you're exhaustion level 1, all your D20 tests are at -2, and your speed is at -5 feet.
And that's just what I need after losing 10 feet because I don't have mobile anymore.
Hmm.
So yes, that's obviously your decision, but may want to be on peak performance for what's to come. Who's to say it's going to be easy? But then again, Madame Feng's associates have so far proven to be quite adept. Maybe it will be a bit of a walk in the park.
I'd rather be at 0 exhaustion. Just in case.
But feeding you puts one of the rest of us at an exhaustion level,
At
doesn't
the
it?
risk of exhaustion if you fail your throw.
Oh, right, okay. Was it a constitution?
It is, yeah.
Hmm.
You will take damage, but then the exhaustion is, possible to be avoided.
Well, if we should be taking it in turns, I suppose Elias hasn't had a turn at being fed on yet.
That's such a way of thinking about it. But oi,
Who's next on the rotor?
I mean, does it have to come straight from the vein, or can I,
You can
You can,
decant it
you
into
can
a.
break it.
into a bottle? Yeah.
Yeah. I handily have one here.
Also, my rotor, I think you mispronounced menu.
Okay. Yep. Elias will nick himself and drain it into a bottle. So I
Okay,
can't
so
see.
first of all, everybody then take your long rests. And then after that, Elias, we're going to roll you 3d4 damage.
This is happening the next morning.
It would be, yeah.
Okay. I was going to say, so the blood doesn't keep, I guess.
No.
Yeah,
No,
it has to be
the,
fresh.
Anticoagulants aren't quite there yet in this setting.
Now, I think I've already done a long rest when we leveled up.
Okay, cool. Do you want to roll that then?
What, 3d4 damage?
Yes, please.
How do you get it to apply
4
damage?
plus 3. You've just done that.
Oh, it's not 3D. Oh, yeah, sorry.
you need a token and then you can right click it. Without the token, I don't think it works to your character sheet.
Right, I'm with you. There you go. 3d4.
Okay, so it's not terrible, but it obviously still doesn't feel great. However, it does have the desired effect. As Swan kind of sips from that chalice, you can see he seems to be, visibly a little more relaxed now.
So it's and a con save?
It is, yes. So roll that for me, please. You, on the other hand, are not doing so good, Elias. Whether it's just maybe thin blood or perhaps a bit squeamish, but as bad as a nat 1, I am going to give you 2 levels of exhaustion for that, I'm afraid.
Yep.
The blood loss takes its toll. So, Zwan, you kind of watch a little as Elias goes white as a sheet. You have to kind of hold his shoulder and help him sit down on the side of his bed. Bandage the wound as best you can.
I'm sorry, it's not usually this bad for people.
Oh, it's just the sight of my own blood gets me.
Okay, so while this is happening, Lima, you've kind of woken up and made your way down to the kind of main hall of a tavern. Where the tavern keep actually, sees you coming, he stands up and makes his way over to you. Excuse me, ma'am. I was told to give this to you. He hands you a sealed envelope.
Yeah, I nod to him and take it and open it immediately.
Okay, so opening the envelope, inside is what appears to be a handwritten letter. And looking at it, you notice that it's in Erlang's handwriting. So it reads, "Hello everyone. We're sorry to have left in the dark of night, but our decision has been made. We didn't want to be talked out of it. We feel our paths have diverged from the wider party, and so have left to follow our calling and find our fortune elsewhere. We have taken our share, and then in brackets, and not a copper more, from the recent job to start anew. Thanks for the adventures, and may you all stay safe. Please don't try to find us. Erlang and Yinfu." And then, as you kind of turn it over, you see on the back, written in Yinfu's signature, kind of flowery handwriting, "P.S. Li Mei, I'm so sorry to have left without saying anything. I'll miss you dearly, and I hope our paths cross again. Please be safe."
Li Mei's gonna kind of tear up a bit in shock at first, realizes she's not surrounded by anybody else, and kind of runs to go find the others. Will they be in the room upstairs, I'm guessing?
So I imagine you probably crossed Wide Eye's path on the stairs, but the others are still up, making sure that Elias doesn't pass out.
I'm just gonna say to Wide Eye, come with me for a sec, and lead him upstairs to go join the other two. And then I'm just going to hand the note to them and just say, read this.
Bloody bastards couldn't even do it in person. Oh well. And Elias will, like, low-key just, like, check the bag of holding to make sure they've not been ripped off.
So checking the bag of holding, you can see that they've taken 340 of your platinum pieces.
Okay, I'll make sure to reduce that. Oh, I can't. Don't have permission to edit it? What?
That's strange. Let me just check the ownership on that one. No, you are the owner, so I don't know why it's not.
Oh, no, I have to change it to edit mode in order to edit the currency. Okay.
Oh, right, okay.
Weird.
Yes, so they've lightened your purse a little bit, but true to their word, they haven't taken more than their share.
Yeah. Okay, so that leaves us with 1,746. No. Bad maths. It's 1,646. Okay. So they don't like hanging around with criminals, but they're alright taking the money that we earned performing crime. That's okay.
I mean, it's fair, I guess.
Well, who are we to judge?
Yeah.
Can't.
We had someone called Erlang with us.
Yeah. Well,
Which one was that?
okay.
Was that the goat or the child?
The halfling. No, the gnome. He was a gnome, right? Now
He's a
I'm doing it.
We obviously knew him so
Now-
well.
Yeah.
Oh, my good friend Erlang.
God, I'd already forgotten.
I mean, I guess we did somewhat ruin his reputation amongst the druids. But- I
He
mean,
was
yeah.
kind.
And, you know, Yinfu is wanted by the authorities already. Okay. Fine.
Hmm.
So much for them helping us to cure Schwan, but no, alright.
Maybe they didn't think they could help in any way, I guess. I mean, we're at a loss of what to do. I don't know whether we're going to be able to cure. We may just have to. Well, we're dealing with it quite well. I think, anyway.
yeah.
Apart from you right now, Elias, but, you know.
Elias tries to hold out his hand, but it's like just shaking.
The paper that the note is written on is a darker colour than him.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah. Nah, well, screw it. Who needs them? Hey, except they knew how to do all the healing stuff.
Oh, shit.
And we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
Anyone
Well-
feel like going shopping to the potions shop?
I thought you were gonna say shopping for more people.
That as well.
Immediately into slavery. Jesus Christ.
I don't know where my mind went.
I mean, they can't leave the party if you do that.
I mean, they were the if the party is a scale of good and evil, they were on the good end. So now that they've left, the evil end's a bit unbalanced.
Oh, I don't think. Yeah, I think that's why they left. I'm gonna be
Oh.
honest.
Besides, we prefer the term indentured servitude these days.
Mm.
Enslaving. Gets you through certain tax loopholes.
Oh my god.
Well, suppose it doesn't change much in our short term. We still need to get the fuck out of the city.
Yeah, I guess we'll just to deal with it.
I've just noticed, looking at Elias' character sheet, that exhaustion is still using the old rule set.
Is it?
We'll just have to remember that.
I'll just disable it then, and I'll just keep track of it in my head.
Yeah, that's fine. We'll just keep an eye on that. Might get updated soon. But anyway, yes. So a bit of a blow to the party. You've lost some of your strength before you've even left the city, but not much to be done about it. They've clearly made it known that they don't want to be found. And Tizout is a big place, even for a satyr and a gnome.
Don't mind my roll. I'm just testing.
Or he was a gnome.
See, I knew I corrected myself correctly.
It's the exhaustion applies the new way against my character sheet.
Okay.
All right. So if I
It doesn't let you select.
it doesn't
levels.
let me select the level
Oh,
of
right.
exhaustion.
We'll just have to keep
Yeah.
our wits about us with those rolls, aren't?
Like, everything I've got will just be -4 on D20 rolls, and move 10 feet. No, because it's 4 times.
No,
2
it's
times.
2 times.
Yeah,
It's 10 feet
so it's
less.
10 feet. It's 4 times. Yeah, okay. Yeah. So I've got 20 feet of movement and a -4 to all my D20 rolls. Excellent. Sure could have used some sort of restoration spell right now. Oh well.
Sure would love a druid right now.
So I guess we just wait around for one of Madame Feng's people to show up and escort us out. I sure hope we don't have to. And I'll just gesture at Lee May, do the whole leprosy thing.
So
Hey.
the mortals amongst you take the opportunity to get a bit of breakfast. Obviously, Swan, your needs are now sated for the time being. Sure enough to the words of the previous associates, you are not kept waiting all too long. A tall man walks in. You realise that he's an elf, although he's hiding it with a quite thick hood pulled about him as if he were expecting cold weather. But looking at you lot assembled, he grunts a little bit. I was told to expect 6.
Two of them decided to make their own way.
The news doesn't seem to faze him all too much. Very well. Should make the job a bit easier, and it'll be a lot more comfortable for you. Now, if you would like to leave this city in one piece, follow me. Without waiting for any sort of confirmation, he turns and leaves the pub, not even glancing back once to see if you're following.
Okay.
We follow. Well, I follow.
Elias follows.
Yep.
Okay, so trailing out after him, you're led down a couple of streets before reaching what appears to be a warehouse of some sort. Inside, you can see there looks to be what's you can only assume is a large trade wagon being loaded with various goods. At the base of this is a pretty sizable crate, kind of wooden thing, quite heavy set. And on the side of it, you can see that there is what appears to be a manifest detailing, several live animals for transport. You can see that the crate has a few air holes drilled into the side of it as well, and it probably doesn't take a genius to work out what comes next. Alright, I'm going to need you all to get in here, and I need you to be absolutely silent until I give you the all clear.
How big is the crate?
Well, big enough for 6 people, which would have been quite uncomfortable. Now with only 4 of you, it's going to be a little more roomy, although Wide-Eye, you may still have to contort yourself more than you would like.
Okay.
I suppose actually it's quite good that the others bailed on you, because it gives Wide-Eye room for his box containing a cat.
I was gonna say, it would have been fine when I shoved Erlang back in it.
Oh god.
Well,
The box but definitely does not have air holes drilled into it, yeah.
it doesn't need a hole. Whoever's inside it is dead. Okay. Elias will climb in.
There's one we'll get in before Wide Eye takes up all the space.
I will go in last, just making sure everyone's in first.
Yeah, Leper's at the back.
You mean at the front?
Okay, so as the last of you hop in and get yourselves comfortable, the elf lowers the lids down onto the top of it, and you hear the telltale signs of nails being driven into wood.
Oh, good.
You're then jostled a bit as a kind of work gang proceeds to load the crate onto the back of this wagon, and you guys can really now only hope that these guys are as good as you like to think they are, given their previous performance. But the telltale sign of movement starts. The wagon gets going with a bit of a start. Heavy wheels trundling over the cobblestone of the city. You can hear the noises as the town starts to come alive again in the morning, but it seems to be a little more subdued than the previous day. Whether this is through some sort of curfew or if people are just playing things safe in the aftermath of a robbery. Obviously not able to work out from your very limited vantage point here. But you're moving for what feels like, a good few minutes before the wagon comes to a stop again. You hear voices up front, clearly somebody having a conversation with the driver. It's a tense couple of minutes. You hear footsteps and the telltale clink of mail coming round to the rear of the wagon. Look, as I told you, it's livestock. We're just going to market. Yeah, well, that's all very well and good, but I've only got your word for it. Ha! My word and this here shipping manifest. Have a look at it. You can't fake a seal like that, can you? There's a moment of silence as presumably the guard studies this manifest. Yeah, that does look legit to me. Alright, off you go. Taken up enough of my time already. You hear the footsteps fade away again before the wagon thankfully gets rolling again. This time the ride's a little less bumpy as the cobbles give way to kind of a more paved road as the city gates pass through. Wide-eye, you can just about see through one of the air holes the town walls kind of slip ahead and then fall away behind as the cart keeps moving. But your discomfort isn't over yet. The cart keeps going for a good couple of hours before eventually coming to a stop. You hear the footsteps once more before the creaking of wood and a beam of sunlight into the crate as this elf pries open the previously nailed down lid. Alright, as promised, enjoy your freedom. But don't forget that Madame Fang will be calling in this favour. Eventually.
I think you might find we paid that off in full.
He gives you a look which is more suggestive than you would like. Oh well, if you're sure then. He chuckles and kind of helps you guys out of the box before turning the wagon around and heading back to the city.
Yes. Man,
Where are we?
it's a good question.
So,
What
having
does it say?
having a look around you, there are no obvious landmarks. Wide-eye, you can kind of tell roughly which way is north, but that doesn't really help with obviously where your exact location is. But you're clearly only a couple of hours by cart away from Taizao, so you can't have gotten too far.
What direction did he start heading back in?
He has started heading back, well, presumably towards the city, which a quick calculation suggests is northeast.
Yeah. Okay, so we want to carry on with the plan of heading up to Luan. That's the only thing I can think to do right now.
Yes, I think that would be good, and by the distance travelled, we almost certainly just need to go north at least, so that sets us on our way.
Yeah, we can follow the coast until we reach Kaifeng, and well, we can always stop off there for supplies, I think, if we need to. Might start getting a bit cold the further up we go. Well, you don't have to worry about that, Schwan, but...
Okay, so sure enough, the road does seem to take a kind of turn to the west. No doubt heading towards one of the Imperial highways. Now, obviously, those roads would be significantly faster. However, would also be significantly busier. So you've got that option to go north, or you could take your chances on the kind of smaller, less well-travelled, yet slightly less maintained paths and roads. Both options will eventually take you north. Obviously, one will be faster than the other.
Well, guess we're going to be slowed down anyway by the fact that Elias is suffering from exhaustion. So we might want to stick to the main roads to try and speed things up a little bit. Maybe we can find a passing caravan and pay for transport.
Yes, anything to reduce any extra stress on your body.
Yeah. And then once I've recovered, I suppose we can then move a little more off the beaten track to avoid too much attention.
Yeah, that sounds like a good plan.
Okay.
Okay, so with that decision made, you guys keep heading west a little while longer until you hit the Imperial Highway. Now, turning north, bringing you towards the city of Kaifeng, the road is obviously quite well utilised, as it is a large town with quite significant importance to Jade Brotherhood. An organisation which is quite wealthy, and so you can probably expect them to have a keen interest in keeping these particular roads safe. So, setting off on foot, you guys trek for probably best part of about 4 or 5 hours. Obviously, Elias, this is quite demanding given that you're not feeling all too great still. However, it doesn't take too long before you hear the sound of a cart coming up behind you. And looking back, you can see that the noise is indeed a cart, although it is just for one. Interestingly enough, sitting atop the cart in the driver's seat are two figures who could hardly be further apart. One is a particularly elegant-looking woman dressed in a fine black dress and a very fancy hat, complete with a veil. Sat next to her is what appears to be a mountain. A particularly big chap, clad in quite serious armour. A large maul resting across his lap, but you notice that both of them appear to be adorned with the symbology of the clergy. As they draw nearer, though, the cart pulls up and they kind of give you a quizzical glance.
Can we help you?
What's a group like you doing walking along the highway?
Is there a problem with us walking along the highway?
No problem per se, just that most would take a cart or a carriage.
We didn't have the opportunity.
Our cart broke down a long time ago.
There's room in the back of ours. Hop in if you like. We seem to be going the same way.
Towards Kaifeng?
And that is the way this road goes.
Yes,
Okay.
please.
I don't. Well, I'd be happy to take your offer then. My name is Elias. This is my companion, Juan, Lime, and Wide-eye.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you all as well. I'm Shang Chen.
And I'm Ching Shin.
By all means, hop in.
Lima immediately just throws herself in.
Yeah. Elias will hop in and probably immediately pass out.
Don't mind him, he's had a long day. He'll be okay. And I'll sit next to Elias.
There is a little bit of stranger danger, but the prospect of just being able to rest for a while is very appealing.
Yes, please. Climb on, rest if required. I can get us all to Kaifeng nice and safely. The two of us have been travelling for a long time as well.
Where have you guys come from?
Much further south.
From a
Liaocheng.
from a prone position in the back of the cart, Elias will say, I noticed the regalia of the clergy. Well,
Yes, we are from the Order of Yinglong. Missionaries.
is that based in Lao Cheng?
It's not based, but there is a temple there.
And you're heading to Kaifeng to preach?
Yes, our
Spread the
calling's taking us that way.
Elias, roll me a religion, please.
Okay.
Remember the -4.
Oh yeah. Where is my religion?
She does the preaching, I do the protecting.
Never would have guessed. It was that way round.
Fucking hell. Jesus
my
Christ,
god! Oh my god!
Maybe you didn't know.
Elias, the small talk is at this point more of a practiced nicety rather than you actually giving a shit as the need to sleep grows ever greater.
Fading in and out of consciousness. So the clergy of ping pong, you said. I've never heard of that one before.
Elias, ask the question, falls asleep before we get round to answering.
And he sounded so interested.
He's had a long day.
This is why she does the preaching. People stay awake through her sermons.
Sometimes.
Okay, so this kind of settles into a bit of a comfortable silence for the time being as you cover a few more miles. However, Chingshin, you do notice the quiet one in the back seems to have a box which is making you feel somewhat strange and very curious.
Gotcha. The box. The box. The box you have there, it's unusual. What is it?
Wide Eyes, like, eyes are gonna light up. And he's gonna be like, well, let me tell you a story. He's going to explain everything in excruciating detail for however long Crispy deems fit of exactly what has happened between pretending to be drunk, to find the box, have the cat, to have it being alive, to having it being dead, and everything in between.
As you
Kinchin is going
regale,
to like listen raptly to all of this.
so Wide Eye, it takes you a while to go through the finer nuance of it, but you watch as the pair of them kind of listen to you with, deep attention. As you finish, they kind of exchange a almost undecipherable look between the pair of them. But yeah, they seem to be quite interested.
We've never heard of a box such as this. You dug it up near a cliff, you say?
Yeah, somewhere around there. It's a miracle. It's a whole new way of thinking, you see. Something could be alive
Indeed.
and dead at the same time. What else
Quite
could
miraculous.
that relate to in, the world? Things that could be happening and not happening at the exact same time. I mean, what? Just going to open the box and pull out the cat.
You pull out the cat, and sure enough, it comes alive and immediately tries to claw your wrist off.
Like, Wide Eye's just going to be very unfazed by this, like, still looking at those two, and it's like, and watch again, and just put it back in.
Oh my. Oh. Wow.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. He's just going to look at the cat and be like, oh, sorry, Mr. Whiskers.
Is. You communicated with the cat as well? Or was it not receptive?
Oh, I had a little chat with him. What was his name again?
Well, you just called him Mr. Whiskers.
Oh, well, I mean, I call him Mr. Whiskers. Like a nickname. I believe the actual cat calls itself, what was it? On Drake, on Dave, Voldrave, something like that.
Voldraith?
Maybe. What, have you spoken to him?
No, I've heard the name before though.
Oh, in what way?
I can't remember. I think it was in a text or some other religious book of study. It's a special box you've got there, I suspect.
Roll me a religion, please, Xingxin.
Yep. Religion.
Wow, what is it with an @1s these days?
Secret religion.
Private,
Yeah, I didn't mean for that to be a private GM roll. Don't know why that is.
You can reveal it, Pascal.
Oh yeah.
A big reveal!
Hey!
Single one, reveal yourself.
Crispy, have you been fucking around with?
This new version of 5e has a lot of...
Should we all just throw
Oh,
some down?
Wait.
oh, there we go.
Nah, Crispy's definitely been fucking
Staffing all
around.
our good rolls.
The duality of tabletop.
Everyone else is getting ones, and Crispy starts rolling 20s, and I'm calling sauce.
Unfortunately, the single kobold wipes out the whole party.
Okay, so Chingshin, you've heard the name before, but you just cannot for the life of you remember where. You know that this is going to bug you for quite a while.
There's a niggling, but I've got no idea. I'll make a note of it and check later when we're not on the road.
I'm surprised you're so open and overt with your necromantic talents. Lots of the realm shun that kind of thinking.
Lee May's
Well,
just going to burst out laughing in the background.
He's gonna, I don't really think they're my talents. Never been able to bring anything else I've killed back to life.
Even so. Probably wise keeping that skill under wraps.
Yeah, all those people in the bank did seem pretty shocked by it.
Like, Elias will just try and subtly kick Wide-Eye at the mention of the bank.
I feel like with his exhaustion levels, Wide-Eye will feel nothing.
Why is he playing footsie with me?
Tell you what.
Call him back. Do you remember that time? Schwan put his feet on Wide-Eye.
I was thinking of doing that as I got on this wagon.
Wide-Eye is just gonna look at Elias and be like, "Oh, we see that again." And he's just gonna drop his feet on him.
Elias, this is about as uncomfortable as it sounds.
No. Don't know how to juggle. Can I cast Shocking Grasp through my foot?
Technically, I think you can. It says touch, it doesn't necessarily say grip, as far as I'm aware.
No, okay, maybe not. It's probably not such a good idea. Let's go try and sit up. Yeah, the cat in the box. Yeah, it's not necromancy. It's something else. But it's not necromancy. Definitely not. It's not necromancy.
Does it seem like it's necromancy?
Roll me an Arcana. Oh, there we are. So, obviously, necromancy is powerful magic. It is very much a telltale magic. It's not something you can disguise or do subtly. And it appears that as Wide-Eye pulls the cat out and puts it back in, there's no casting taking place. So whatever is happening, it is not through Wide-Eye's doing.
Exciting.
Quite the relic you've got there, sir. I'd recommend keeping close grip on it. Be very, very, very dangerous in the wrong hands, but you seem to know how to deal with it.
Yeah, this box ain't going anywhere. More important than, well, most people's lives. He's just gonna like glance over at Elias.
That's a good mentality to have.
Is it? Lee May has been like kind of switched off to most of the conversation, and she hears that, and she's just like, "What?"
Think of the issues something like this could cause if it fell into hands wanting to use it inappropriately.
How would they use it inappropriately?
How would you use it appropriately?
You just don't.
Yeah, you bury it on a beach in a far-off island and you forget about it.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's what Lee May would do.
Well, she is a pirate.
Exactly.
Well. I like to think what Wide-Eye would do to anyone who'd try and take the box away from him.
Oh, they'd be a dead person.
Yeah.
Until they were placed in the box.
Yeah, right. I'll be like, oh, they'll get to meet little Frank.
An interesting point, actually. What happens if you do put a corpse into the box? Does it then live and then can only live within the box?
We may never know.
I know, we
Well,
were
but-
getting close to trying out her language.
Well, when it comes to Wide-Eye as well, would it be a whole corpse or would it be missing a head? Because what
Well,
happens
that's
if
it,
you
yeah.
just put a head in the box?
So many questions, so few corpses readily available.
Yeah, we can change that.
Oh God.
You could put a corpse in there, revive it. I could feed off it, and then you can pull it out.
That
It'd have to
doesn't
be a
seem
very
very
small
sanitary.
corpse.
We've come back round to this slavery kind of idea, I think.
Is it
The
slavery
vibe
if they're
today,
dead 99% of the time?
Said,
Of course I said
But
none of
this-
this stuff about feeding out loud.
Mm. This conversation carries on for a little while longer, the miles slowly slipping northwards. But there's still, a fair way to go before you get to Kaifeng, and the sun starts to dip quite low in the sky. Even with the napping now, Elias, it is getting very, very hard to keep those lids open fully. But you see a small road leading off to a village. Looks like it's a fairly sizable place. Probably the kind that would have a coaching inn to stay at.
Perhaps this is the place we pause for the night?
Sounds good to me. And please allow us to pay for your rooms. It's the least we can do after you providing us with transport.
If you're quite sure, we wouldn't turn it down. We travel on a tight budget.
That seems a fair exchange.
Yeah. Let's hope. Elias will just shuffle like an old man.
Okay, so
Do I still have my quarter? Oh no, I got rid of my quarter staff when I got the flame glaive. Never mind.
Zanchan, you steer the carts off the Imperial Highway and down this smaller road towards the village. And as you draw near, you can see that it is a fairly vibrant place by the looks of things. Sure enough, there are a number of good houses. Some of them do particularly stand out as being clearly quite wealthy. But as you draw nearest to the village, you've clearly been spotted because a small figure comes running out to meet you, kind of falling in a bit of a jog beside the a cart. You can see it appears to be a young girl, maybe about 7 or 8, but in her hands she's grasping what appears to be a knitwear jumper. Only it is glinting in the setting sun like you've never seen before from something of this nature. It's like somebody has woven moonlight into a garment. But she holds it out in front, kind of grinning ear to ear. You can see that she's kind of missing one of her front teeth. Mister! Do you want to buy this?
No, thank you. We require lodgings for the night.
She kind of lowers the garments, looking a little bit disheartened. Oh. She kind of drops away, slowing to walk and letting you kind of pull on her head. As you do so,
What was it?
as you do so, you come to the coaching inn. You can see a sign hanging above the door with a picture of clearly a man kicking back in a rocking chair, his feet up by a fire. The sign reads "Footsore Wanderer."
Oh, let's see if they've got rooms for the night.
Okay, so entering the establishment, you catch a glimpse of something, King Shin, which makes you pause for a moment. Roll me another religion, please. Okay, so you see what appears to be a very popular charm of protection. However, something about this one is slightly different and kind of makes you pause a moment longer. Now, roll me an Arcana, please.
My God. The dice do not want me to roll Arcana. Yes.
There is a certain magical energy about this charm. However, you cannot quite put your finger on it. At least not exactly. You know that it is a protective ward.
Elias will shuffle his way through, very old manish, trying to find. Is there a bar to walk up to?
There is, yes.
Hello.
Lume's gonna help him.
So there are a couple of patrons who are enjoying a few drinks. The barkeep turns around at your approach, somewhat surprised to see, somebody who's not quite over the hill, seemingly crippled like a 70-year-old man. Good evening. I didn't hear you arrive. Please make yourselves comfortable. I'll get you a nice round of drinks if that's what you're after.
Food.
And rooms for the night if you have any available.
Yes.
Oh well, yes, we can certainly assist with that. No problem. I'll make sure that we get you some nice fresh food brought to your table as soon as possible, and I'll sort out some rooms. How many will be requiring them?
I'll gesture at King Shin and what was his name? Yeah, Shang Chen. Shang Chen.
The Zhang
Shang Chen. Are you rooming together, separate rooms?
Together will be fine.
Okay.
Roll me a perception, please, Elias.
Okay. Oh,
Can I roll perception or no? Instead, oh no!
You know what, Lee May? Go on. You are very.
Yay!
Okay, so Lee May, Elias doesn't seem particularly concerned about this arrangement, but you're a little nosier than he is. A cursory glance reveals that both of these pair have a platinum ring on their left fingers.
Oh. Lee May is gonna just whisper to Elias that they're just gonna say married. And then I'll turn to the barkeep kid. Yeah, they'll have one room. Yeah.
and yeah, fuck it. Do you have 4 rooms? Do you have 5 rooms in total? 3? Or
Yeah, we can do that for you, no problem.
everyone gets their own room?
Oh.
So that'll be a gold piece for each room for the night, and then food and drinks that'll cost you 8 silver ad.
I'll throw 7 gold onto the bar.
He takes that and then he gestures for you guys to take a seat at the table. I'll have your food brought over right away.
I will help Elias go over to the table.
Yeah, you guys sit down. Zwan,
Elias is starting to milk this a little bit.
You're still stuck at the door. Zwan.
Oh no.
Oh. Fuck.
Do we notice this?
Roll me a perception. You notice this.
Oh no.
Yeah. Jingjin, you notice this before Zhang Chen does. In fact, he seems quite oblivious to it, quite keen to get stuck into his grub.
Some things will never change.
I'll just shout in from the door. Barkeep, is there a spare table? Can I come in?
Barkeeper looks at you for a moment like you're quite slow. It's not the busiest evening. There are plenty of seats. Of course, there's plenty of spare seats. Make yourself at home.
Oh, thank you.
Not terribly so.
No one noticed a thing. And I'm assuming we're all sat on one table, so I'll just join everyone.
Okay, so yeah, you guys settle down. The food is brought over to you quite quickly. You notice that the girl from before enters and she kind of looks at you guys as if she were going to try to sell it to you again, but you notice the barkeep kind of snaps his fingers at her and gestures, and she kind of despondently turns and heads back. You see he says something to her, but you don't quite catch what.
Zhang Chen's going to say a quick prayer in Celestial before we eat. Effectively grace.
Jing Shen will sort of engage with the sort of end part, sort of as in place of the Amen kind of section.
Okay, so a bit of a novelty for the rest of the party, but it doesn't take too long, thankfully, before you're allowed to dive into the food, which is actually surprisingly good for a tavern. Clearly, this close to Kaifeng, it has access to some pretty decent markets. So you're pleasantly surprised as you kind of get this down you before the night draws in. But you notice a couple of the locals are clearly quite busy chatting about something. Over in the corner, they seem to be quite hush-hush about it. A few of them, shoot glances at you guys every now and again, but none of them seem to approach or have the desire to bring this up, if indeed it does involve you.
Is it one of those things where we wouldn't have noticed them necessarily, but the fact that they're shooting furtive glances at us definitely makes us notice it?
Yeah, it's hard to see if they're talking about you or they're just trying to see if you're eavesdropping on them. But they're paying you more attention than you would probably otherwise be warranted. But they've got quite a country vibe to them. They don't seem like the most, shall we say, well versed in the arts of subtlety or spycraft.
Mm.
In fact, actually, Juan, this is where your vampirism is going to come in quite handy. Roll me investigation, please.
Ew. Oh wait. Everything moved. One sec. I don't have the thing at the top to roll, like abilities and stuff.
Yeah, one of the recent updates has got rid of it. Not quite sure why.
What did you say to roll, sorry?
Investigation, please.
Investigation. Not bad. 15.
So you catch bits of it, obviously with your now heightened hearing. You can tell that these gents are essentially in the midst of what must be some quite tasty gossip, but on the face of it, it makes no sense to you. Or at least, not that they would be this hush about it. You hear one of them kind of whispering to the others, "Have you heard? Old Li Jinlong, his goat's on the brink of death. I'd hate to be him." The other one kind of retorts to this, "Yeah, well, Peng Jing just got her goat. So it's, usually not long after that the old one goes. Hope he's ready to pay the white tithe." The other one retorts to that, "Don't think anyone's ever ready to pay the white tithe." They down their drinks and then make their way to the bar, leaving a couple of coins, which you notice are gold, on the bar before heading off.
I notice a gold on the bar and it's an unsupervised piece of gold.
Yep, the barkeep seems to be otherwise distracted.
I'm going to go over, pretend to look at the drinks, or look at what's behind the bar. I'm not going to take it, but I'm going to take a quick look at it. I've seen a lot of gold pieces in my time, and I want to see if this is a weird one that I've not recognized before, because what they're talking about is really weird.
Okay, so you make your way to the counter and make it look like you're having a browse at the selection of spirits behind the bar. Giving this gold piece a sideways glance, It's a standard piece of gold, no different than any other issued by the realm. It's unusual. Obviously, drinks are never that expensive, particularly in villages. But it is, from what you can work out, just a regular bona fide piece of gold.
Yeah. I'll wait around until the barkeep starts to come back. Or comes back.
Okay, so he comes back and notices you waiting at the bar. Oh, sorry, there. Can I get you another drink?
Ah, yes. I think that group sat over there. Oh, they were sat over there. I looked to be quite enjoying whatever they had here. Could I have what they were drinking?
He kind of glances over. Oh, that lot. Yeah, I can get some of that for you. No problem. I think it's. Let me see. What do they usually drink? He rifles through the selection of bottles. Some of them labelled, some of them not. Before pulling out a spirit, which is dark and fairly viscous. So he takes a shot glass from the back, a fairly crude thing, but places it down. It is at least clean, to his credit. So pouring that out, you notice that this is quite a thick liquid. It's not quite treacle. It is still. It's more akin to perhaps, say, like maple syrup, perhaps, on a cold day. It's very peculiar. You can't say you've had anything like this before, or at least nothing you've seen in a bar.
This is quite different to anything I've had. Should I be anticipating anything, or is it just a good taste and a little strong?
Well, if you've not had it before, I won't spoil it for you, but it has a bit of a kick to it.
Yes. Well, this leaves me very intrigued. Thank you. How much do I owe you? I'll pay you before I drink it.
So this one, it's not too bad. It's a silver piece for a shot.
Thank you. So I'll leave the silver piece on the bar, take the shot, and then just walk back to the table, leaving the shot glass on the bar and not bring it back to the table.
Okay, so you knock this back, and it's a strange sensation. It kind of burns, but it burns slowly on the way down. But other than that, it doesn't seem to have any strange effects on you.
I don't know what I expected, but it still surprised me.
Something wrong, Sean?
Oh no, just trying the local brew. A bit interesting, burns a little, but yes, I'm not quite sure how it was.
How it was what?
Okay.
Roll me a Constitution save, please, Swan.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
I think this is why the mage should always test.
15 again.
Okay. Nice.
Nice.
Good job.
Okay, so you get hit by a kind of a wave of dizziness, a little bit, but you steady yourself against the table, managing to stay on your feet. But you can see like little, almost like glowing dots in the distance, it seems. But when you try and focus your eyes on them, they always seem to move.
So I'll probably just be stood there for a good few seconds trying to look at things in my peripheral vision.
May will definitely be like, "Oh, what have you just had?"
I bet you would love it. You should ask the barman.
Lee May immediately stands up, pats Zran on the shoulder, and heads over to the bar and goes, "Whatever he's just had, please."
So the barkeep kind of cracks up a little bit. Fine, you got me. There's a bit more to it than that. It's not just any old brew. He pours another slug of it and slides it towards you, Lee May. We call it Will of a Whiskey. Gives you some pretty light hallucinogenic effects. It's harmless, but good fun.
I'm here for it. She's gonna put down she sees that Joanne put down a silver, so she's gonna put down a silver as well for it.
Okay.
Yeah. She's gonna down it in one. Because it's Lee May.
And you likewise have a few moments to savor this burn before you are required to make a con save.
Yep. Oh god.
So, Lee May, even though you are a seasoned alcoholic, you don't quite have the constitution of the undead yet. So,
Yet? Oh god.
this one hits pretty hard, and very quickly you start to see these little white orbs too. Only you see significantly more of them.
She's gonna be like, whoa. And kind of hang on to Joanne, do you see this?
Isn't it interesting?
It's like fireflies.
Yes. I think this is why those men were looking.
So you were being nosy. I see.
Being
Go on.
nosy has granted us this experience. Aren't you glad?
She just starts giggling.
As you're saying this, Swan, you notice that the barkeep is currently cleaning 3 mugs, not 3 shot glasses.
How much did you drink, Lee May?
A shot?
Look. And just point to the bar.
She's also gonna look.
Past the lights.
Will she be able to see? I don't think so. She's gonna look, but don't know how much help she's gonna be.
So, Lee May, you follow Zwan's finger towards where he's pointing. However, you are transfixed as an orb of light seems to come to rest on the top of his fingernail. Zwan, you look back and see that she's kind of staring cross-eyed at your hand.
Not
You know, she's gonna
there.
go. She's gonna say. She's gonna go. Joanna, have you got magical powers now? She's just.
I do
Is your
not.
friend quite okay?
Oh, we are fine. Don't you worry. No, I do not wish for magical powers, Lee May. Just not the finger past it. The barkeep.
She can't. She'll just be like, no, the orb. I'm gonna call you the orb holder now.
You know what? It's just like having Charlie back. Something happens, and all of a sudden, people are getting nicknames. It's beautiful. I love it. Well,
It
Thank you,
runs
Seth.
in the family.
I shall call you Orbtooth.
Can we all look at the bar? Well, can we see what the bartender's doing?
Yeah, the barkeeper's washing down what appear to be 3 mugs of ale. Or what were 3 mugs of ale, and now just 3 mugs.
That's pretty good,
Meanwhile, Zwan and Li Mei are just kind of standing, kind of almost supporting each other, just giggling.
That's normal.
Yeah.
Normal. No.
Is what normal?
I suppose everyone needs something to get them through the day.
So, did anyone happen to see a sign that says the name of this village?
I couldn't see one on the way in. It's not somewhere I've heard of before, I have to say. But it was a good time to come off the highway and find somewhere to rest, so here we are.
Certainly. Aye, well,
Barkeep, what's the name of this village? There wasn't a sign on the way in.
This village? Why, this is Yichun.
It's not one I've heard of before.
do you get many passes through on the way to Kaifeng?
Yes, actually, we're usually more popular and busier than this. You've caught us at a quiet time, but we do a fair amount of trade of our own. We've got some skilled weavers. Always do well at the markets.
Oh, lovely.
Like that little girl who came in earlier, I'm guessing.
Oh, Peng. Yes, she's my niece. You'll have to forgive her. She's very enthusiastic. Wants to be a merchant just like her dad, but still a little young.
Showed.
But she's got a keen knack for it. I'm sure in a few years she'll be raking in fortunes like none of us have before.
Mm-hmm.
Really, it does seem like this village does pretty well off.
He nods at that. Yes, we are fortunate. A few of us have managed to really make something for ourselves. We're thankful for it, of course. We do give our prayers to the temples regularly. He says, kind of addressing that more towards Chang and Qingshen. Sorry,
As you
that
should.
Qingshen. That name is going to get in my head eventually. It might just take a couple of sessions.
That's all good.
But yes, he obviously kind of recognises the robes and makes sure to get those brownie points in.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, we certainly can't complain.
Yep.
Anyway, it's getting late. I'm sure you want to be shown to your rooms.
Sounds good to me. Elias will
Right.
just get up and just start walking over.
The bunkhouse is a short walk from here. I'll help you out. He makes his way around the bar, kind of grabbing what appears to be a kind of a stick or a crutch. And as he comes around from behind the bar, you notice that he's missing his left leg below the knee.
Oh.
But it seems that this may have happened a while ago because he seems to be quite adept on the crutch, and he goes at a fairly good pace. Follow me. I'll.
Accident, perchance.
Oh, what this? No, I lost it when I was young. Infected cut, you see. The doctor said it was lose the limb or lose my life. By the time I had enough money to see a healer that could have done anything about it, it was too late. So, here I am, but I am still here.
You seem to have made do.
Well, what can I say? The tavern doesn't require all too much running around. Quite suits me being sat behind a bar. But anyway, you didn't come here to hear my sorry life story, did you? Let me show you to your rooms.
Yeah.
Strong,
we may, come on, follow us before you get too legless.
Is this an appropriate joke with our current company?
Lee May's going to burst out laughing inappropriately.
The tavern keeper does as well. Trust me, no harm done. I've heard it all before.
What? Did someone make a joke?
He chuckles. I was half tempted to repaint the sign with one of the legs missing, but figured that I wasn't that good an artist, so here we are. Anyway, he makes his way to the door. The bunkhouse isn't too far. Okay, so as he leads you there, Zwad, you kind of help Lee May, who seems to have had it a little worse than you do, through the door behind the others. And as you look out, you can see a particularly bright white orb drifting down through the sky towards the village. The thing is, Zhang Chen, you can see it too.
Oh no.
Lee May, you see this? My orb. I am no longer the holder.
You'll always be the holder in my eyes.
Somebody mentioned Beholder.
Not now we've got a cleric back in the party plus.
Barkeep explained this. I've had none of that drink, yet I can see this. What's going on?
He looks. He shrugged his shoulders. I could be a shooting star, I guess. I'm no astronomer, but they're not all too uncommon.
It's drifting down into the village, right? Or is it kind of on the horizon back towards
Yeah,
the
drifting
village?
down seemingly into the village. You see it kind of go down behind one of what appears to be the wealthier houses.
Maybe shooting stars don't normally fall down so close from what I've heard. Let's hope it's nothing.
As I say, sir, I'm no astronomer.
They do not believe in the power of the orb holder.
I kind of want to go see it. And Lee May starts walking towards that wealthy house.
Okay, so you
rooms first.
She's one
you kind of stumble off. The innkeep kind of turns to the rest of you, kind of almost looking with a kind of a pleading look of please don't let her cause any trouble. I don't want to cause a ruckus with the neighbours. We already get enough trouble from complaints.
Well, if it's a real shooting star, I hear sometimes they can be made of precious metals. They might be worth something.
He looks and goes, Oh, is that so?
I think
Well,
so.
suppose if we were to find it, it wouldn't be any great harm, would it?
There are
Follow
often
along after
disputes
Lee May.
between you and your neighbours. It looks like there's a distinct level of wealth disparity in this town.
He nods. Yes. Yes, it's true. Some do better than others. He obviously tries to hobble along. Lee May, you are leading the way, and eventually you come down to this house where you saw the orb disappear behind. Now, looking behind it, you can see there appears to be an animal pen at the back. However, as you draw around to the rear of the property, there is no sign of any shooting star, any crater, or any sign of impact. What there is, however, lying in the middle of this pen is a dead goat. However, what strikes you immediately is that the goat's hair is absolutely magnificent. It is glowing like the the jumper that you saw before. It's almost as if each strand of hair was made of something like silver or electrum. Very vibrant colour, clearly not akin to anything you've seen before. But the goat is very much dead.
Ah. Well, it's no precious metal.
Elias is just going to rub his eyes a little bit. Is anyone else seeing this?
I mean, I should not be saying yes. I've had.
It's a shiny goat.
Okay, so it is shiny. Okay,
Oh
okay, I'm not
my
seeing. Alright.
God! They've killed Yunfu!
No. Why not? Different goat.
Oh, okay, never mind.
Panic.
The jumper your niece was selling earlier looks very similar to this.
Well, yes, it was made from the hair of a very similar goat. You could see that the barkeep is kind of getting a little pale under the moonlight.
This has been happening a lot.
No, it hasn't. If you'll excuse, I need to go.
Clearly been happening enough, given that she was trying to sell it to us as soon as we entered the village. If it was a rare occurrence, you wouldn't have thought she would have tried to sell it to anyone that came through.
Well, she's an enterprising girl. Needs to make a bit of coin like the rest of us. Who wouldn't want such a lovely jumper? He's kind of retreating a little bit. Goes to turn around towards the house. He kind of makes his way to the back door and kind of raps on the back. It takes a few moments, but the door's opened by a woman in appears to be some kind of nightgown before eventually her husband joins her at the door. The barkeep doesn't say anything to them. He just stands aside to obviously reveal the sight of this dead goat. You watch as the man in the door's face just drains of all colour, and his wife just sinks to her knees and screams into the night like a banshee. It doesn't take long, of course, before this commotion gets most of the village around. And it seems that at the sight of this dead goat, most of them also stop and, a few glances go to this couple that own the house. Some quite concerned looks.
Quite a precious goat, I gather.
Barkeep turns and nods. Yes, it was. Anyway, I'll show you to your rooms. This is not your concern.
If you say so.
So he makes his way. The crowd parts a little to allow you guys through before kind of closing round again. You can see a few kind of trying to console the couple. He makes his way back towards the inn, and it's off it's out building where the bunkhouse is located. As you go past another of the houses, one of the poorer ones this time, you hear bleating, and a small glance reveals that in the rear there is also an animal pen, and this one contains what appears to be a small kid. And you notice that its hair is the same marvellous silver sheen as the now deceased adult coat in the other pan.
Would Wide-Eye Head just Yinfu?
Well, I think Wide-Eye's identification of livestock to friends is not quite fully developed.
A blurry line.
Every time he sees a goat, oh my god, it's Yunfo!
I'll be idea that holds true until he actually meets Yinfu again and just doesn't recognise her.
I thought we saw the goat die, yet here she is on a stage.
So eventually you reach the door and he gives you your keys to the rooms inside. The building is kind of a setup where there's a long corridor that runs down one side of it, and then several rooms open up off said corridor. But with 5 rooms, obviously you have enough for one each, and then obviously the pair of newcomers to share. But the barkeep bids you good night. Now, breakfast is served from dawn onwards, and please just give the villagers some space. It's going to be a hard day for them tomorrow.
Because of a dead goat.
It might not mean much to you city folk, but out here that's a big deal.
Why? What's the significance?
Well, that goat was, you saw its coat, that was a man's livelihood. It wasn't cheap either.
Sounds like they should have invested their earnings better. Maybe got some more goats.
Well, you say that, but it'll cost him an arm or a leg.
I'm going to give him
turns
a
around.
very hard look.
Yeah.
He turns around at that and hobbles away before you can ask any more questions.
Oh. Ooh. If I was more conscious.
You get for drinking on the job.
Oh, it's not on the job.
As he walks away, Elias will remark, "That man's got one leg."
Most of us are just fucked at this point.
Those two are married.
Wow!
Zwan and Lee May are tripping balls. Zwan is just tired enough that he may as well be too. I imagine that our new religiously oriented friends are probably wondering just who they've picked up on the side of the road here.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Some questions are to be asked, and there are no answers to be found.
To be fair, we're a very weird ass group, I'm gonna be honest.
Ching Shin tomorrow, it's probably a good idea to And check in on that couple, make sure everything's as it seems.
Yes.
But for now, everyone, let's get some sleep. Clearly, there are matters here. They will concern us if they concern us.
Yeah. Elias is going to go straight to sleep.
Okay, so Elias Fiss offers no challenge to you. You are asleep almost before you hit the pillow. So obviously this is going to be a chance to long rest. I will let you decide if you want to do that right away, if you want to do anything else. Bear in mind, Zorn, you will need to feed again or face exhaustion. And Elias, you will get obviously 1 level of exhaustion back from resting, so you will be back to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Which should hopefully be a little easier to deal with. Still, obviously not quite out of the woods.
So, in terms of Swan, feeling bad after making Elias really suffer and wanting to hide the fact from the 2 new people, I'm not going to feed, and I'll take the exhaustion level.
Okay, so Zwan, the hunger pangs start to grow more demanding. But with a bit of self-discipline, you push them to the back of your mind as best you can. Obviously, you don't necessarily need to sleep as the others do, so you're going to have a bit of time on your hands until morning. As for the others, Jingxin and Zhang Chen, obviously a fair few things to reflect on today from your own personal perspectives, of course. But perhaps
Yeah, I would
this,
imagine we probably have a conversation before we go to sleep, and sort of our normal evening routine. But
Yeah, conversing Celestial about what's been going on.
Okay, Celestial's a good shout. Can,
In case of any eavesdroppers.
Eavesdrop, we're not nosy? No, if I
you
knew.
guys might not be.
Not necessarily saying you. This is a weird ass town.
Yeah, to be fair. Yeah. Oh, Lee May would be gone. She'd be like laying in bed for a bit, watching the lights, and then she'd go to sleep. Like that's what she'd be doing.
Yeah, so you try to catch a few to no avail. You close your eyes and the orbs vanish, but the familiar spinning sensation starts to set in. But you're used to that, you can deal with that a little easier.
Oh no, it makes her smile. It kind of feels like she's getting back to normal again from everything that's happened. That's really bad, isn't it?
She's rocking slightly. It feels like she's on a ship.
Yeah. God. She's so damaged, it's fine. Don't worry about it.
What is it with the past siblings and substance abuse in my D&D campaigns?
Now I'm worried what Guy and Charlie did. Good lord.
Good lady, we need to check up on those two. Well, we had to stop Guy from nearly fucking snorting Rich's character's kind of astral
Fuck,
plane
what about
ashes. It was quite fucked up, but
He really tried with that one.
Jesus Christ.
last thing we need was a psychically awakened Torek. That wouldn't have been as well for anybody. Okay, so you guys get some sleep. Obviously, everybody except one who doesn't need it, but unless you have anything you want to do, we'll just flavour that as you kind of meditating in your room.
Yeah, meditating and
trying your best not to give in to the urges to go find a peasant.
yeah, and trying not to look at the lights as they slowly fade.
So dawn comes around and you guys wake with the morning sun. as you rendezvous at the entrance to the bunkhouse, you can see that there's a bit of a commotion down at the village in the direction of a house, obviously wherever you found the dead goat before.
We'll absolutely go and check that out.
So,
Bef-
looking at the crowd, you can see that people clearly have gathered here for a reason, and as you push past a few of them, that reason becomes clear. In front of the house that you were at last night appears to have sprouted a ring of white cap mushrooms, quite tall, probably standing at about 30 centimeters high each. The grass within this circle has grown miraculously overnight, now very overgrown. This wasn't here when you went to bed.
Is this where the goat died?
No, this is the other side of the house.
Other side of the house,
It's,
okay.
outside the front door, where, interestingly, Qingxin, you notice that there is another one of these protective charms.
Can I take a look at this one in case I can glean any different information from it?
Okay, so taking a look at this one, it appears very similar, if not identical, to one outside the tavern. You sense that this one's got some slight magical energies to it as well.
Have I realised yet that Elias is also magically inclined?
He was probably a little too exhausted yesterday to be coherent. But
Yeah.
you might, I mean, his apparel might give him away a little bit. He does carry what is clearly not just a regular walking stick.
Elias? I'm assuming you're a
Yes.
magic user.
Who told you that?
The
Who's been
staff
talking?
and the
What do you know?
book.
Oh, yes.
Would you take a look at this? It's not like a normal magical protection shield that I'm aware of.
Oh, okay. Let me have a look. Got an Arcana?
Yes, please. And
Minus
now,
2.
final state. So more like it. There we go. So, Elias, taking a good look at this, you can see that the charm itself has a small indentation in the back, which has been had a small wooden layer put over it and then kind of painted shut. But it's been outside, exposed to the elements enough that you can kind of see where this is. And prizing this wooden layer open, you can see what appears to be a kind of a lodestone within. And indeed, there is a spell enchanted into this stone. And because you rolled that well, I'm going to tell you exactly what that spell is. It is protection from evil and good, and more specifically, it is protection from Fae.
Oh, sure.
I've heard about these. Well, I've read about these kinds of charms. Usually, villages out in the middle of nowhere. Well, in the wilderness. Sometimes they can be prone to pesky little creatures that will cast curses. You must have heard of the old dairy farms that pixies will piss in the milk and turn it sour and that kind of thing. Something akin to that. So perhaps there's some kind of fey creature that lives around here that's tormenting the village. Or blessing the village somehow. It can kind of go both ways.
I did hear a group of men last night talking about something called the White Tithe. I don't know if that's
White
connected,
eye.
but it could well be.
Have I
Also,
ever heard of the white eyes before, Crispy?
No, you would not have.
also, if that goat that we saw last night belongs to someone called Li Jin Long, then the death is not unexpected.
So perhaps they are paying some sort of tribute to a local fey creature who's blessing them with luxuriously coated goats. That would be my guess.
Sounds as sensible a guess as any.
How powerful is the magic on this charm?
Something that you could probably buy from a skilled enchanter in a city. Not wildly powerful, but not a trifling little trinket either.
Well, I'll make sure to seal the charm back up properly so as not to disturb the magic. But yeah, I don't know. It's just magic. It's kind of hard to explain in exact terms, but definitely something magical going on around here.
As you're doing this, however, the murmurs of crowd drop away a little bit as you can see a pair of men coming to join the group. One of them is carrying a tree stump. The other is carrying what appears to be a greatsword. However, it's unlike any you've seen previously. Instead of steel, this blade seems to be almost carved out of a chunk of bone. He has it over his shoulder. It looks quite heavy, but the crowd kind of stands back to let them through. You can see that the owner of the house, this Li Jianlong, is standing, shaking in his boots a little bit. One of the newcomers, he plumps the tree stump down in the center of this ring of mushrooms. Come on, Lee. Let's get it over with. You've had a good run. Honestly. You've got enough money to go see a proper healer. That's more than could be said for a lot of us. There's a loaded silence now as the villagers' attention go to this man. He trembles a little bit. He kind of glances down at his wife, who is, bawling her eyes out. But eventually you see him kind of gulp and step forward. Kneeling down by the tree stump, he rolls up the sleeve of his left arm, placing it on the tree stump. The man pulls out a thick leather cord and ties it tightly just above the elbow. He places a reassuring hand on the man's shoulder. Trust me, Lee. It's better us than them. He pulls out a kind of wooden, almost like only about maybe 5-6 inches, but like kind of wooden branch, and gives it to Li Jianlong, who bites down very hard on it.
Does someone want to explain what's going on here? This doesn't seem like a village fair.
The man with the greatsword turns and addresses you directly. Stay out of this, outsider. Doesn't concern you.
I'm here and I choose that it concerns me.
Roll me an intimidation, please.
Yep. Is a nat 20 enough?
Yeah, I would say that concerns you. Now, the man with a great sword clearly is not a soldier by trade. You clearly do a lot of soldiering from the look of your armor, your weapon, and your general physique. Look, we're not threatening you, but this isn't your business. You don't know what's going on here. Couldn't hope to understand. Just leave us to it, and things will be as well as they always have been.
It'll be a lot easier to understand if someone actually explains instead of trying to drive us away.
Whoa, whoa, easy everybody. Why don't we just put the weapons down? You turn to see the barkeep has made his way down. Crutch obviously supporting him. He turns to the man with the sword. Han, it's clearly too late to hide this from them. Let's just humour them. We'll let them know it won't do any additional harm. What needs to be done will be done anyway. The man is hesitant, but he clearly has some respect for the barkeep, and he just nods and kind of steps back a little bit. But he's interrupted actually by the man kneeling up with his arm on the stump. Oh, just get it over with already! He's kind of weeping quietly. You can see that his arm is starting to go a little bit white from this tight leather strap bound above his elbow.
Best start explaining quickly then.
Barkeep, he looks at the villagers, he looks at you, and then sighing, he starts to explain things from the beginning. So you see, it started generations ago. A deal was struck between our ancestors and some of the local fae. It was innocent enough at first. The fae demanded that a child's first fallen tooth would be surrendered to them, and in return they were given a goat with extraordinary fur. It was like silver that you could weave into clothes and garments. We grew very wealthy from it. But then, as the village grew and another child was born and reached the age where their tooth would fall, then the old goat would perish. And then they would come back to demand the spare tithe. We started to try and get around it by banishing most children born in the village somewhere to the cities, but we always had one goat left, you see, that would eventually pass, so it was deemed safe to keep one child. That way we could at least continue to reap some benefit from it. But as you've seen, my niece Peng Jing, she recently lost her first tooth. And when the goat appeared in her stable, then, well, it was only a matter of time until Li Junlang lost his. And so he must pay the white tithe so that they don't come and claim more. But as a result of our efforts, it's been decades since he got his goat. Is it not true, Lee, that you've savings enough to hire a decent physician in Kaifeng, someone who may be even able to restore the arm you're about to lose? The man nods at this, although it doesn't really seem to offer him too much comfort in the present moment. So please, strangers, I only ask this of you. Forget what you saw here. Carry on to Kaifeng. Leave us to our ways. I fear that in trying to help, you may only bring more harm to us.
If you need a healer, I can perhaps fulfill that role, but my price would be that we can see this ritual through to its end point.
There are a couple of murmurs around the village, but it seems to be met largely with approval. Well, yes, I suppose that could work if you would be willing to assist. Well, thank your lucky stars, Lee. It seems that you're not going to be left to suffer for too long.
There is potentially another option. We stay here. Our companions seem
Capable.
Adept. We stay here, wait till the Fae return, remove the problem at the root.
He shakes his head at that. That's too risky. We can't be gambling with that. If we miss even one of them, then our problems will only increase from here. It'll be the end of our village as we know it.
Do they come to collect the tithe or not?
He points to the circle of the mushrooms in which the poor man is now knelt with the arm on the tree stump. This is their calling card. And that orb you saw last night was no shooting star.
Right.
So they killed the goats?
They merely took back their gift. And their mark here means that they expect their payment. If we don't fulfill it within the day, then they'll come for him as well. And it won't be just the arm.
Why is it they want the sacrifice of a limb?
We have learned better than to ask questions of them over the years. Many have tried.
So when the arm is cut, do they appear out of nowhere and take the arm, or does the arm just merely disappear?
We leave it here as offering. Overnight it usually vanishes.
Oh,
None
brilliant.
of us dare stay to watch.
Oh, well, guess what we're doing tonight, chaps?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going. Okay.
Elias. We don't have to, Elias, if you don't want to.
Why is it like I was already so tired? And now this?
I can't say I wouldn't be curious. I mean, I've
Yeah,
only ever read about these fey creatures, so I wouldn't
Exactly.
mind seeing one.
I'd like to see one too.
I still think it would be simpler to simply slay and conquer all of them so they don't ever feel the need to come back.
But how
Well,
many
if
is
we-
all of them?
Hmm.
as many as it takes.
Until it is done.
You seem very
All
confident
right.
in your abilities.
This is not the first group of enemies I've dealt in this way, and I doubt it will be the last.
Right, Alexander the Great. Calm down.
You've dealt with fey creatures before?
Not Fae per se, but creatures from other planes.
Okay.
Well, perhaps we see how things are this evening, and should the opportunity arise, a decision can be made at that point.
Yep.
Well, if we have to wait around until this evening anyway, I'm gonna go back to bed. Could Elias just go and get another long rest throughout the day?
Yes, if you are willing to forgo the opportunity to do anything during the day, but obviously getting
I'm
rid of
thinking if we have to wait, if that's the plan, if we're going to try and sit and ambush the fey creature when it comes to take this guy's arm, then I reckon I could get another 8 hours sleep to make sure I'm back at full strength.
Also, given how squeamish he was, maybe he doesn't need to see what comes next.
Wizards, man.
I didn't actually click. Excuse me, I didn't click long rest earlier, but get me hit points back.
Lee May's just gonna get her flask out and start drinking while she watches what happens.
I mean, at this point, Elias has seen people get beheaded by Wide Eye. It's nothing new to him. So he's just going to head back to the room and start sleeping.
Okay, so as Elias heads off, the man with the great sword kind of picks it up again, turning back around. Are you ready then, healer?
Yes.
He hoists the sword up high. I'm sorry, Lee. And then, with one mighty swing, he brings it down, the bone chopping deep into the wooden stump and severing this man's forearm just below the elbow. He screams with pain, muffled slightly, but only just by the wooden stump in his mouth. Thankfully, the makeshift tourniquet seems to do its work, and the initial splut of blood is followed by kind of oozing rather than gushing, but it's clear that he's going to need some medical attention pretty pronto. There's a very expectant look in your direction at the minute, Xingjin.
Yeah, I'll go over and take a look. Possibly not quite as speedily as they would want me to, but I will go and take a look.
Yep, so it was a very clean cut. The force of this greatsword clearly matched only by its sharpness. The bones inside seem to have been sliced as opposed to crushed, making it a very clean wound to have to heal.
Cool. Is this the kind of thing that lesser restoration would deal with, or would it need to be something different?
I would have to check the exact small print on that. I suspect not.
Okay.
No, that's not going to do limb restoration. I think that'll have to be greater.
Yeah. I don't think I have access to that. Level is greater restoration. Bear with me.
5th level.
Okay. Yep, don't have access to that, but I can ooh, hold on, where am I at? I can cure wounds on him, which is probably the best option.
Okay, so you cure wounds and stop the immediate risk of him bleeding out. He got sobs gritting his teeth through the admittedly fading pain. Before you said you could fix me! Still, obviously, minus his forearm.
That will require a lot more medical assistance than what I can do for you here. But you're not going to bleed out.
There's discontent amongst the gathered villagers. The barkeep isn't particularly happy either. That wasn't our deal. You said you could restore him to how he was.
I don't believe I did say that. Seems this village has a problem with making deals without checking the fine print.
He steps forward angrily, but thinks better of it when Zhang Cheng steps into his way.
I would advise against that. Like you said earlier, we don't need to be enemies.
He glares at you, Qingxin, with barely concealed hatred, but he doesn't press it any further. Well, what's done is done. He turns to the man with the greatsword. Go on, help him into his house. Let him rest. We'll get him on the road to Kaifeng tomorrow.
Have we noticed anyone else with missing limbs?
You haven't been paying too much attention to that. But looking around now, actively seeking for it, you actually don't. It seems that the barkeep is the only other one missing a limb, but he is significantly older than the man who's just lost his arm. But thinking back to his explanation about banishing children so that only one generation at a time has to suffer starts to add up.
Mm.
I don't know why they're getting mad. The guy was gonna lose his arm anyway. You healed him. Oh well.
Yeah. Oh.
You'll find people in situations of desperation often don't know what they truly want.
Mm. Oh, I know. Don't you worry about that.
But the immediate spectacle now over, the villagers are starting to kind of go back to their own houses. Li Jinlong is brought inside and clearly is going to be needing to be looked after for a little bit, but if he gets on the road to Kaifeng in the morning, and if he does have the wealth they say he does, he should be able to find somebody capable of restoring his arm at least. But for the time being, he's going nowhere. Nor is his arm, which is left atop the stump in the middle of this circle of mushrooms. Nobody makes any effort to interfere with it or to move it. It is simply left there as if it were the most normal thing in the world.
Gruesome. Well, no sense in us keeping watch on the lawn all day, I don't think. By the sounds of things, nothing will happen until later.
One longingly stares at the stump, at the arm, seeing blood at the cut end.
Unfortunately, the tourniquet had a fairly decent effect at stopping the blood flow to the stump, so it's a trickle at best. But yes, still probably not doing any favours for those ever-growing pangs of desire you're now feeling. But the village now is starting to quieten down a bit, and you're left there with the barkeep, who isn't in a particularly talkative mood. In fact, he doesn't really wait to talk to you, instead turning around to make his way back up to the footsore wanderer. But you can see that the village is, clearly just going about its day. People are starting to, well, you should see quite a few of them are actually gearing up to load of carts, whether they're heading into Kaifeng. It's hard to say, but yeah, nobody's really paying all too much mind to this fairly macabre spectacle that's just gone on.
Backwater villagers have backwater village customs, I suppose.
Hmm. Strange place.
Good alcohol, though.
It would have to be in a place like this.
Yeah, now I'm wondering, because that drink had kind of special qualities to it, I'm wondering if there's some fey magic. Maybe.
Or if there's some special goat ingredient. You've seen those goats.
Maybe. Maybe they don't use. Yeah, maybe they don't use them just for the fur.
A thought.
Makes me want to test it again just to make sure, but we've got Faye to hunt, so never mind.
Hmm.
What's our next move then? Are we waiting till the ritual in the evening, or shall we head off back on the road? Xingxin, have you seen enough, or did you want to converse with the Fae later on?
I'm content to go with the majority. I suspect our efforts will not be thanked if we do deal with the Fae, so perhaps it's not worth the delay.
Well, our friend is currently passed out in his room.
We're in no massive hurry.
I think it'd be nice to maybe meet one, not necessarily kill it, but I've never seen one before, and I want to see if this deal they're talking about is as bad as they're making out.
Then we wait till tomorrow to leave. We stay for this evening and see what happens.
Yeah. And then Li Mei's gonna pull Zhuan to the side at one point and just go, how you doing? Nom noms wise.
Well put. Yes, not amazing, but it could be worse.
Well, in case anything goes wrong, I can help you if you need to, because, yeah, I'd rather, one, definitely not Elias do that again. Clearly he's not good with that. But I'm happy to. And we needed you up to your full strength, really. I can see it's getting to you a little bit, and I saw you kind of salivating. Okay, maybe that's no exaggeration. But I saw you looking at the arm.
Yeah. Yes. Guilty as charged. Yes, it does occupy the mind a lot when I haven't fed.
Okay. Alright, give me 1 second then. Because she doesn't want the other two to see. So she's gonna go into like a private where she's out of the way and empty it into the cup. Because that's what we've been doing, so or something. So that's what I'm gonna do. What do I need to roll for that again, Crispy?
So it'll be a con save, please.
Okay.
And then you also need to take 3d4 of damage.
Okay. And then 3d4. Okay. Fine. Done. Yep. Did I pass the con save?
Yes, so you've passed that. And 7 damage.
Don't know why it's saying Zara and then.
Yeah, I don't know what's
Oh,
doing
yeah,
that.
some of us aren't assigned.
New character sheets.
The characters.
If you right click your name in the bottom right and click user configuration, you can just select your other character sheet.
Oh, got you.
There.
Cool. Okay. Okay. Yeah, and
Yeah, I can do that now.
I'm gonna head back over and just give out of sight of the other two. This to Juan.
Yeah, I'll drink it out of eyesight of the others. My nom noms.
No. It's the first. It's also a very Lee May thing to say. Cause she's just, you know,
Thank you, Lee May. You look to have held up a little better than Elias did.
yeah. I mean, I think it's because I've done this before, and it didn't go well for me, but the first time. But no, I know what I'm doing now, so it's fine.
Practice makes perfect.
Exactly. Okay. Does the mushroom do the words? Do the mushrooms change at all throughout the day, Crispy, that we notice, or no?
They seem to actually start to wither as the day goes on.
Huh. Okay, and the arm doesn't change.
Well, no, the arm stays as is.
Okay. Interesting.
Okay, so the day draws on until evening starts to set in, and you notice that the village very quickly goes almost deathly silent. People are in their houses early, and you kind of hear deadbolts being drawn, window shutters closed and locked. Protective charms checked.
So, do we wait in the open? Or will we be hidden?
I was going to pull up a chair and sit next to it.
Jesus.
I have no better idea.
I mean, I don't know. I wasn't going to be that brave, but
I'm
yeah.
more of a hidden sort of guy. I'll find a tree or a wall to disguise myself behind.
Okay.
It's still fast asleep. Oh,
You're kind of getting over the grogginess of it, but you wake up by the time this is happening. Obviously, another level of exhaustion gone, so feeling a lot better than you were.
After making my way back over, well, I bet that guy's glad that you managed to grow his arm back for him.
Yeah. He would have been.
She
Huh?
didn't. She didn't. She healed him.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the impression you were going to grow his arm back for him.
Yeah, apparently they did too.
Yeah.
I really don't recall saying anything of that sort, but I've been wrong
Maybe-
before.
Maybe we inferred it. I don't know. Yeah, well,
Yeah, they weren't especially pleased, as you can imagine.
what's he going to do? He's armless.
Hey.
Like I said, yeah, it's gonna happen anyway. And they didn't seem like they had a healer in here, so we would have been worse off. Maybe. Maybe.
Seems a bit foolish having this situation and not having a resident healer.
Hmm.
You would have thought with a magical goat they would have been able to afford having one live here.
That's a good point. Hmm.
So, have we settled on how we're going to? I don't know.
I
Catch
can't.
the creature.
Well, I want to see what they're talking about is actually happening and what kind of creature actually comes. Because, yeah, there's the weird mushrooms, but that could indicate anything. So,
Speaking about the weird mushrooms, can I examine those?
So by the time you're getting there, as the sun is setting, these are now at the brink of rotting.
Ooh.
It seems like they're acting almost as some sort of natural timer.
ooh.
Yeah.
I see.
So something's gonna appear, I suppose.
You think?
Maybe one of those orbs will just float down from on high. As Elias says that, he just looks up to see if there's any orbs floating around anywhere. No? Okay.
Not currently. I believe the plan was some of the group are sitting out, waiting to converse with them. Some would rather to sit back and watch from afar. Which camp do you fall under?
I'll stand back a little bit, but yeah, I'm near enough that I can take some sort of action if we need to.
I'm gonna sit with you, big guy.
I'll be over there.
That's a good idea, Siobhan.
I will stay in the vicinity.
Okay, so Li Mei and Zhang Cheng are going to sit very close to this limb.
Yeah, like in the front garden, pull up a seat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yep, so
That one.
you
Just like
Yeah.
sitting there with her arms crossed.
you find somewhere comfortable and you sit yourself down. And you wait. And you wait some more. The sun dips down below the horizon, and you watch as a thin at first but ever increasing bank of mist rolls into the village.
Ah.
And then just as it's getting to the point where you can, barely see more than about 20 feet in front of you, you notice an orb start to descend from the sky, followed by two more.
Oh boy.
Crispy, this mist, does it look familiar?
In a way that mist can, I suppose.
Okay.
It's quite
So no,
thick.
I mean,
You've
like,
seen
does it
sea fog like this before, I suppose.
In my
does it look like
dreams.
the fog that the Fleet of Fog make?
No, this is
No. Okay.
much less noxious,
Okay. I was
much
panicking.
more natural.
Okay.
In that it's there's no pollutants in it.
Okay.
Although that would have been a very funny plot twist, but
Yeah. Just wanted to make sure.
Elves coming in and just stealing body parts.
I was thinking
Yeah.
of the mist in Swan's dreams, but that's a red mist. I'll just check.
Yeah.
So that
As the orbs start to descend, Elias will cast Mage Armor on himself as well.
okay, so you guys are sat back a little further up Village Trail, not too far from the tavern, watching as these two sit brazenly out in the open. However, the orbs descend and you quite quickly lose them in the mist of the village. You can barely see Li Mei's back from where you are now. As if this mist gets any thicker, you'll probably have to close in if you want to see, but that obviously risks delivery.
I'll start moving closer so I can actually see what's happening in the mushroom circle, whatever.
Okay, so meanwhile, Zhang Cheng, you watch as these orbs descend, and as they get a little closer, you start to make out a little more of their characteristics. And to your surprise, each one of these very quickly, you identify them as tiny little people, it seems. Each of them perhaps, no longer than maybe 30 centimeters from foot to head, but glowing incandescently and held aloft by some incredibly ornate wings by the looks of things. They seem to be clad in garments, made of, if not the same, and very similar material to the jumpers that have been made from the goat's hair here. And as they flitter down, they float about over the head a little bit, kind of swooping in and diving. Not in a hostile manner, but clearly quite curious. And they appear to be speaking to each other, but you don't recognise. In fact, hold on, let me check. Do you recognise the language?
I'd be surprised if I do.
You do not recognise the language.
Do I?
Let me double check. You do not either.
Okay.
Guessing it's some kind of Fey language.
It'll be Sylvan or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. I just wondered if it was Elvish. But no.
But they seem to be at least a little wary of landing for now. They flit overhead, curious, it seems, not necessarily scared.
Hmm.
Mhm.
You get an uncomfortable feeling, Zhang Chen, that you are being assessed.
Hello, little fairies. I hear you're expecting Miss Arm.
Alright, much?
One of them flits down a little bit. Roll me a wisdom saving throw, please.
Okie dokie.
Holy mother of God.
Yeah, that will do it.
Aura of protection, baby.
So one of them swoops in and attempts to do something, but you kind of feel the intrusion into your mind very quickly shut out. The creature kind of recoils as if it wasn't expecting this.
My mind is my own. I would advise staying in yours if you want to keep your life. We are just here to converse.
The creature that had swooped down climbs a little again, hovering in midair to address the others in its foreign tongue.
Am I close enough to hear them yet?
So you
can
can
hear
kind of
me either
hear
way.
sounds, but obviously it means nothing to you.
I mean, could I cast comprehend languages?
Okay, but roll me a stealth as you do it.
Okay. And a stealth.
Okay, so Elias, you realise that they are speaking Sylvan to one another. They're having a heated debate about these interlopers. One of them seems to be of the opinion that it shouldn't make any difference, that the ritual must go on. The other seems to be quite annoyed that it resisted her magic, and then the third is suggesting that they return another time. But there seems to be no sort of agreement between the three of them at the moment.
Okay.
Either way, they seem to be content to flit about in the air comfortably above the reach of Li Mei and Zhang Jian.
Okay, so at this point, can I not see the three of them, but I can hear them? Or
You'll see the orbs flickering around. You won't necessarily see what they are.
Okay.
Because they are giving off, they're quite luminous.
so through the fog, probably particularly difficult to see.
Yeah, you'll be able to track the lights, but not clearly determine what they are. Obviously, unable to share this with the rest, you have to kind of sit and listen. They seem to mention that their sisters aren't going to be happy about this. One of them, however, starts to get a bit bolder, it seems, and descends once more. This one actually comes and lands on the tree stump itself. Standing there, you get a better view of it now. Lee May, obviously, you've got your wish now of seeing a Fae up close. You're very surprised why the villagers are scared of these things. They're tiny.
Yeah, Lima is just gonna kind of rub her chin like, okay. I thought they'd be big like elves or something.
The creature stands for a moment and starts to speak. It tries a few different languages, Lee May, before it stumbles across one that you seem to understand, which, as it happens, does turn out to be Elvish.
Mm.
You intrude on our ritual. May I have your name?
No. We came to watch and... No, you may not have my name.
She
What's yours?
scowls at you.
She goes, what's yours?
Taking off, she returns to her companions and they return to their own tongue.
What was she saying?
Okay, she asked for my name and that she's annoyed that we are intruding on her ritual. So, don't give her your name,
Understood.
seeing as it's the first thing that she asked me.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
Right. So they circle overhead a while longer, discussing what you can make out, Elias. They seem to have realised that you probably aren't going anywhere, so they need to find a way to get that arm.
Oh, I'll reveal myself, I guess, and say in common to see if they can understand me at first. You could take the arm, but we'd like to discuss this deal that you have going with the villagers.
The ringleader looks a little surprised by your appearance. But she doesn't necessarily act in a hostile fashion towards you. Instead, kind of flying a few loops around you as if to, again, kind of better assess you now. Making you feel uncomfortable a little bit, even in the mage armor. I'm sure we could discuss something. We have a lot to say. In fact, us fairies are very talkative, if you would only lend us your ear.
No.
As I said, we can discuss. Well, actually, before we go too much further, how much do I know about Fey creatures, or what I suspect that these creatures are?
Sweet fuck all, really. You've
Okay,
never
yeah.
encountered them before.
Never read about them.
It's not really a topic of great academic study in the realm. It is still largely seen as, country bumpkin folklore amongst
Or
more
wives'
serious
tale.
circles.
Why do you take the villagers' limbs and give them shiny goats in exchange?
Because that's what we were promised, and what we promised them.
At first, it only cost a child's tooth. How did it then become an entire limb?
The Faye darts back up and talks to her sisters a little bit, not realizing what you can comprehend. Pesky, these ones, they ask so many questions. It's not their business. What should we do? It won't be long before our sisters arrive. We want to keep them waiting. Shh. Here, let me try. I've got an idea. A different one swoops down. Look, it seems that you have questions. Why don't you let me have a word with you and we'll sort this out properly?
No. Lee May's just gonna keep saying no.
We're
I'm seeking answers, not
In fact,
threats.
actually, Elias, roll me an Arcana.
okay.
Holy moly.
You realise that in frustration, one of these fairies has just cast silence centered around Lee May.
Excuse me.
Is what you try to say, but no sound escapes.
How rude.
Again, more miming.
She's going to just give her the finger. Sorry.
You're going to give her your finger.
No. Sorry. Put
If you're
my middle
metagaming,
finger.
Zara, then I will too.
Well,
okay, so yes, Lee May starts to, gesticulate wildly.
Why are you casting spells on my friends?
It's funny. She's annoying. Because we can, because we want to. Pick your reason. Doesn't matter.
Fair enough.
I like their honesty.
Lee May is
Well-
going to shake her head.
You said you want a word. I mean, we're already talking. Like I said, we're just curious to see if we can resolve this deal you have with the villagers that doesn't result in them having to lose an arm or a leg. Why is it an arm or a leg? Are you eating them?
No, don't be silly. We're not eating them.
You're not
Who
eating
is
them.
eating them?
You're feeding
Why are
it
you
to
obsessed
someone?
with eating them? Who said anything about eating them?
Nom nom.
So, are there more of you?
The three of them look to each other. And again, back to Sylvan. This isn't getting anywhere, sisters. Well, we tried. So be it.
Oh no.
Without another word, three of them just shoot up skyward. leaving you there with the arm as the mushrooms finally wither and their heads snap.
Fear this isn't a good outcome.
You'll
I
get used to
think-
it around us.
Oh,
I'll walk towards Lee May, like through what I determined the bubble of silence is. Take her by the elbow and like walk her to the edge of where the spell has been cast. Good.
Okay,
We can
so-
talk.
Eventually, yes, you are met by, I imagine, probably cursing.
Yeah, they cast a spell. I'd avoid that small area there for a while if I were you. I think more of them are coming, and they're probably a little bit unhappy that we've interrupted their ritual.
We said they could continue, we just wanted to talk.
I would be interested to step back and see how things proceed if we aren't there.
Yeah.
Well, I think that bit might have passed. I think they're done. They mentioned something about their sisters are coming,
Oh no.
and I don't
Not
think
more of them.
like has the mist started to dissipate.
If anything, it's getting thicker.
Ah, shit.
Hmm.
Can we hear anything?
You stand in silence for a while, listening out, before you hear what appears to be a whooshing sound. Something streaks through the sky and hits one of the houses, punching a hole through its thatched roof before the inside just erupts in an inferno.
Oh shit!
Oh shit!
The explosion rocks through the silence of the village. You watch as like the door to the house swings open and the inhabitants come streaming out before something big pounces from the fog and just pulls one of them down. Everybody roll initiative, please.
Oh, shit!
Damn.
We'll probably need to be in the.
You will. I will
Combat
beat
encounter.
you in.
We know what to do when we see a burning building. Just walk away.
Run towards it.
Oh!
Ignore it and walk away.
We asked questions about why wasn't it us that started it? Oh goddamn, I'm
We
human.
didn't start the fire.
Oh, is this the silence bubble here?
No, that's actually
Me!
Aura.
Oh right, okay.
Ah, he's a
I was gonna say, am
paladin.
I a bit closer to Lee May? Or
You will be now. I haven't moved you.
okay, that's fine. Move on.
I get advantage now and something else.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me remind me of my actual rules.
Is this alert?
Yeah.
Oh, I also have a
Proficiency with the initiative rolls, and then you can choose to swap with someone.
Oh, it's not advantage, it's proficiency. Okay. With an ally, I can choose.
I can also do it, so I will roll.
So you could swap with each other and then swap back.
Oh, that's a shit one. Oh yeah, my
Ah,
initiative, and that's +3, so 10. Ugh.
ah.
I like the music, Crispy.
Yeah, the
It's the only
music's cool.
Fey thing I could find, but perhaps not as threatening as I wanted. But
I think
Oh no, it's still pretty good.
Zhang Chen might be better going where I am. So you can get in a better position quicker.
Yeah.
So how do I...
Crispy will need to start.
Okay. So I'll be on 5,
right,
Zhang
so
Chen will be on 21.
5 and 21.
Yeah.
Let me roll that. Can I just set your initiative?
Actually, I can just do this. No, I can't. Never mind.
I don't know how I can. I used to be able to set that.
What are you after?
He's
Yeah,
reminding me
there we go.
that-
Can do it
Hey,
now.
you
So
gotta-
21 for Zhang Cheng. And Swan at 5.
Yeah.
And I'm-
then is Jason AFK.
I'm 10, not 7. I forgot to add my proficiency. Apologies.
Oh, did it not just do it?
No.
There is
On
a
your-
marker you can tick on.
Yeah, on your character sheet, on the special traits bottom right, you can turn on
yeah.
the alert feed.
I remember that. Okay.
So I'll roll as initiative for him, seeing as.
Oh wait, I didn't add mine either. But, oh well, it's fine. Zhang Chen would be on 24.
Okay, I have just noticed time, so I think I might have to leave you guys on a bit of a cliffhanger because we are not going to
No.
get
Well, it's probably a
all
good time
too
to.
much done
Well,
here.
well, one thing I was going to ask is because I can see creatures, but is the fog like acting as like a disadvantage or? sort of thing?
Yeah, beyond 20 feet, any ranged attacks can have disadvantage in this
Okay,
fog.
okay. I just wasn't sure if like they were meant to be invisible or not, and like I couldn't see them. Because when you said about a creature leaping out of the fog at someone, I wasn't sure if I was seeing things that I shouldn't be seeing.
No, it's you would see silhouettes and shapes, but yeah, ranged attacks can be tricky.
Yeah, fair enough.
But yes, we will.
I mean, fireball is fireball. It's just gonna.
Well,
And then it'll illuminate the area, surely.
Oh yeah, which is the houses going on
that's
fire?
a point I do need to add that in because for some reason I didn't plan on something exploding, but you guys were involved, so
I didn't do it. I'm not
Oopsies.
the one that set something on fire.
there we go. That one's burning now.
Nice.
Okay, cool. We'll pick this up next week.
Would you be able to bump me up to 24? Because Rich forgot to
Yeah, I
add
didn't add my
his.
alert.
Right, okay.
Have you and Zara got that sorted now?
Yeah, I ticked mine. Yeah.
Oh,
Have you
yeah.
found it, Rich?
Yeah, I found it.
Yeah, nice.
This one.
Because I had to do it for Tavern Brawl. I just forgot the alert was on there as well.
Yeah.
Nice one. Good session.